Once upon a time, there was a young man who had no skills at all, only being gentle and compassionate. Since his wife passed away, he became extremely impoverished. At one point, he had to beg for alms. Finding this profession degrading and unable to sustain himself, the young man decided to take up labor work. However, after just one day, he felt exhausted and was humiliated by his boss's scolding, so he planned to take up fishing, a profession he thought would be more leisurely and free. That afternoon, he was paid 30 copper coins. He took that money as capital, bought hooks and lines, and was determined to make a living with his new trade. The next morning, he went to sit by the river to fish, but until noon, he hadn't caught anything at all. The bait kept disappearing. It wasn't until the afternoon that he saw the float sink. When he pulled it up, he caught a water snake. Annoyed, he removed the snake and threw it back into the river. The second time he pulled up, it was the same water snake that had gotten caught on the hook again. He lamented to the snake, "Oh, snake, I'm very poor. I only have 30 copper coins. Don't ruin all my bait. How will I eat then?" He threw the snake back into the water. The third time, it was that same snake caught on the hook again. This time he was very angry and didn't throw the snake back into the water, but grabbed it by the neck, intending to kill it. As he passed the gate of the goddess Kai Kao's temple, the water snake suddenly cried out, "Don't kill me. I am the son of the king of the water realm. I bit the hook many times just to befriend you. Please let me follow you. I will help you overcome poverty." He listened and allowed the snake to accompany him. From then on, he caught many fish, some for food, some for sale, and life became very pleasant. The young man and the snake grew closer. One day, the snake informed him that in just 3 days, there would be an unprecedented great flood. He heeded the snake's advice and built a bamboo raft to prepare for the disaster. He even announced it to everyone around. But no one paid any attention. 3 days later, indeed, a storm arose with great fury. Rain poured down like a deluge, and the water rose like the sea. People, animals, belongings, and crops all floated away and disappeared. It wasn't until the storm had passed that he dared to paddle the raft back to his old place. Seeing an ant nest drifting on the water, the snake told the young man, "You should save them a little." He replied, "Why bother saving those insignificant ants so they can crawl all over the raft?" But the snake insisted, "No, please listen to me. They will repay you." Listening to the snake, the young man rescued the ant nest onto his raft. After a while, they encountered a mouse struggling in the water, about to drown. The snake urged him to save it. "Oh," he replied, "let the mouse die. Why save it?" "No, please listen to me. It will repay you." Following the snake's advice, the young man rescued the mouse onto his raft. In another place, they came across a python curled up on a branch in the water, waiting to die. The snake urged him to help the python escape. "Oh," he replied, "the python is terrifying. Why save it?" "No, please listen to me. It will repay you." Listening to the snake, the young man helped the python onto the raft. Finally, they encountered a man clinging to a floating log in the water. He didn't wait for the snake to tell him and intended to rescue him. But the snake stopped him. "Don't save him. He will harm you." Despite the snake's warnings, he was determined to carry out his thoughts, rescuing the drowning person onto a raft, warming them by the fire, and providing them with food and drink. After a few days, when the water receded completely, he released all the animals onto the shore. The person, having lost their family and home, was allowed to stay with him to fish and support each other, considering him like a younger brother. When the water snake returned to the water palace, it invited him to follow it down to its father's kingdom. Along the way, the snake advised his friend, "If my father offers you anything, remember not to accept it, but only ask for the 7-stringed lute. This lute, if there is an enemy, playing a tune can make the enemy disperse." The Water King was delighted to have his child's friend visit and treated him very generously. When the Water King sent his servants to present gold, silver, and jewels, he remembered the snake's advice and firmly declined, only asking for the 7-stringed lute. The Water King respected him and granted his request. He returned to the land, cherishing the loot immensely. One day, he had to go far away. Before leaving, he hid the magical loot under a rice sack, warning his friend not to go near that sack. However, the other person, thinking there must be something valuable under it, searched diligently and indeed found the loot. Knowing its magical properties, he stole it and fled to the capital to seek fame. At that time, the king's army was facing a neighboring country that constantly invaded their borders. He asked the king for permission to eliminate the fierce enemy. Thanks to the magical loot, he caused the opposing army to suffer heavy losses. The king intended to marry his daughter to the general, but just as he promised the engagement, the princess suddenly became mute. Therefore, the wedding had to be postponed until the princess recovered. Meanwhile, the fisherman, upon returning and finding his friend and the 7-stringed lute missing, hurriedly left home to search for them. Upon reaching the capital, one day he saw the other person now sitting on a luxurious palanquin, surrounded by many attendants. He approached the palanquin and called out to his old friend. However, upon seeing his benefactor, the other person immediately ordered his soldiers to capture and bind him. To avoid revealing the truth, he falsely accused him of being a bandit and had him imprisoned in a secluded place without food, waiting for the day to bring him to trial. In the dark prison, while he lamented his fate, the ants he had saved from the flood long ago found a way to come in and inquire, "Why are you imprisoned here?" The young man, confused and not understanding who was speaking, asked back, "Who are you? Why can I only hear your voice but not see you?" "We are the ants you saved from the flood long ago, currently at your feet." The young man bent down to look for the ants and shared his misfortune with them. The ants said, "We cannot do much, but let us go find that rat. Perhaps it has a plan." The ants then split up, each going in a different direction to find the rat and inform it of their benefactor's misfortune. The rat immediately brought sweet potatoes and cakes stolen from a restaurant into the prison for the young man to eat. He expressed his gratitude. Then the entire rat family set out to find the python. As they approached the python's home, the whole group of rats, fearing the python would eat them, climbed a tall tree and called down, "Oh, python! Oh, python!" When the python came out, an old rat bravely climbed down to tell the python what had happened. The python spat out a jewel for the rat to take back to their benefactor, saying, "This jewel, when ground into powder, can cure muteness. Our benefactor can use it to heal the princess and thus escape disaster." When he received the jade, the young man called the jailer to tell him that he had a magic potion to save the princess from her muteness. They led him before the king. Indeed, after the princess drank the jade water, she suddenly spoke, and her first words were to demand that the one who saved her become her husband. The king praised him greatly and asked how he came by such a miraculous potion. The young man recounted the whole story. After hearing it, the king clicked his tongue. "Truly, the hearts of humans are more treacherous than those of dangerous animals." Immediately, the king ordered the soldiers to arrest the ungrateful general to await judgment. As for the young man, the king appointed him as an official and married him to the princess. He lived a life of greater happiness than before. Nowadays, the saying, "Those who save others will be repaid, while those who take revenge will be revenged," is used to mock those who repay kindness with resentment, falling short even of animals. The story strongly criticizes those who are ungrateful and treacherous, who betray loyalty and forget the moral values, qualities, and beautiful traditions of our ancestors for the sake of money. At the same time, it advises us to always be willing to help others, as we will surely be rewarded appropriately, just like the main character in the above story.